It feels like it's been forever since we did this.
It does feel like it's been forever.
I walked into the studio here today after
Yeah.
long day's work, and I feel like I forgot what I was doing.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't know why. It wasn't that long, was it? It was the last time we recorded, about 2 weeks
2 weeks,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got the divisional round to talk about.
Yep.
Conference championships to talk about.
Yep.
Super Bowl to preview.
Yep. Talk about Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl.
Yep.
That's unfortunately the end of football.
That is unfortunately the end of football.
Yikes!
And it might end with a Chiefs victory, like none of us wanted.
But we all knew we were going to get.
We all knew we were going to get.
It's the present you didn't want.
Yeah. We'll get into all of it, though. Except we won't get into the coaching hires. I know that that's going on right now. Still waiting on the Saints to dilly-dally around and find themselves a head coach. They're taking their sweet old time.
Maybe they're just going to not have a head coach.
They might just.
They might be better.
Yeah. Mickey Loomis running the show.
Let Derek Carr be the head coach.
Derek Carr, yeah. They might ship Derek Carr. Whoever head coach is coming in there might just ship Derek Carr out. We don't know what's going to happen yet.
Yeah, whoever's going in there, they got Derek Carr to deal with. Yeah. Who knows? They're about $88 million over the cap.
Yeah,
per usual. The Saints stuff.
They can't even afford to buy hand soap for the facilities.
No, they got nothing. Bring your own teepee to work. We can't afford it.
I don't know how the Saints owner. I don't know who it is. Isaac would know who it is because he's good with owners of NFL teams. And I don't know.
Mickey Loomis always catches the shots though.
Dude, I don't know how the owner doesn't get sick and tired of this guy because. The owner's got to see the reports coming in from the National Football League, hey, you guys are $88 million over the cap.
Yeah.
And he's probably just pulling his hair out, Mickey, what are we doing?
Yeah.
He's like, it's okay. I got a good relationship with all the players. I'll tell them we'll pay you next year.
Mickey Loomis must have dirt on the owner.
Dude, I swear, He's like a terrible financial advisor. He's like, I'll be good with your money.
Yeah.
Because none of this is his money.
Yep.
It's all the owner's
We'll just kick it down the road. We'll just push that till next year. What a guy.
Yeah, but we got lots of offseason to talk about. That's in the future. We'll talk about Mickey Loomis, see how he handles this offseason.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for now.
We
got these games to talk about?
Yeah.
A little bit of Super Bowl preview action. Mm-hmm. All that good stuff we said. Back in the saddle again.
Oh. While you were rambling there, I saw what you were doing. Trying to give me time to think of an intro music to come in there.
That was my idea, was back in the saddle again.
Is there a song that says that?
You don't know? Oh, man, I'm going to...
Hit me with it.
I am going to destroy this.
I'll sit back.
I will move away from the mic.
Okay.
But about the only part I know is back in the saddle again. It is by... I'm blanking so hard. It's a rock song. AC/DC. No. Yeah. I think it's AC/DC.
There's a song called Back in the Saddle Again by Gene Autry. Is that not the song you're thinking of?
Probably not.
I think Gene Autry is the guy who sings Big Bad John, right?
Ooh, I don't know.
Big Bad John.
Oh, I forget the rest of the song. John. I'm pretty sure it's AC/DC.
I was wrong. It's by Jimmy Dean, the Sausage Guy.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Back in the Saddle Again song? Rock song. Here we go.
Yeah.
Aerosmith. Back in the Saddle.
Okay.
Back in the Saddle is what it's called.
That's why I said I was going to slaughter it because Tyler Perry. Or not Tyler Perry.
Other guy. Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
He has a super high note, so it's like anyone slaughters it except for him.
It is. You crushed that. That song, Aerosmith, is it two guys? Or is there multiple guys? I don't know, but this song...
It's mainly Steven Tyler.
Back in the Saddle is written by Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. So
I comboed.
Who is Medea? Medea didn't write this song.
Definitely not, no.
But either way, I don't know it. I don't know. Just get us a little one-liner.
It's gonna be just gonna be Back in the Saddle again.
All I need is so I can flash the intro. All the
channel manager Steven Tyler. Try to work my throat to about 4 octaves higher than I talk. Yeah, something like that. Here goes. Wait, do you have lyrics up? Let me see if I can. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can.
I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back in the saddle again.
Yeah, okay.
That's
what I thought it was. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh wait, I'll get you a couple lines here. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. I'll move away from the mic. It's gonna be loud. 'Cause I'm back in the saddle again. Nailed it!
Yeah, Steven Tyler in the flesh. That's great.
Not in the flesh. Welcome back to Last On Sports Talk podcast. I just absolutely slaughtered that, but you guys got some. Hopefully it's entertaining because my throat's hurting a little bit, to be honest. Like we said earlier, we got a whole bunch packed into this episode. It's been a couple weeks, so we got divisional round to talk about of the NFL. We got the conference championships of the NFL to talk about. We got the college football national championship that we will talk about. We got a little bit of Super Bowl preview that we will talk about, and we got some Chris Collinsworth glaze that we'll talk about, and
Senior
Bowl for the college football that we will talk about.
A little preview into scouting. Very brief preview.
Very brief. Some guys we're looking at Senior Bowl. And so, yeah, I say we dive right into it. Let's start with that college football national championship where Ohio State took on Notre Dame. Ohio State won 34-23, which we were all kind of expecting. But, I mean, Ohio State's been the best team all year.
Yeah.
And just Notre Dame had no answers that whole game.
Honestly, Notre Dame kind of tried to make a little comeback, and there was a little glimmer of hope.
Mm-hmm.
A little glimmer of
sure.
hope there. I mean, Riley Leonard, he stepped up, and he did make some plays. He was, the entire offense, 255 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. He contributed another 40 yards on the ground whenever the rest of the team contributed a total of 13 yards on the ground.
Yeah, that killed him.
But Riley Leonard, actually, I thought he was going to be the one that messed this whole game up for the Irish, but he was actually the single-handed one that's like, come on, guys, let's keep going. Everybody else is dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, those last few games in the playoffs for Notre Dame, Riley Leonard really stepped up, in my opinion. Yeah. He played almost like a completely different person from the whole rest of the season. Like, he was the one on that team that looked dependable.
Yes.
He didn't look like he was going to destroy the team and ruin the game and throw it to the other team. But yeah, he really stepped up. And I think he played about the best game he could have against Ohio State.
Yeah.
But it's no match. That Ohio State defense, for one, that Ohio State offense, they've been incredible all year long. And obviously they won. So, I mean, it was going to be impossible for nearly anybody to beat them.
Yeah, and I've run up and down that Ohio State roster, defense specifically, to just show you how good they are. So I really do give props to Riley Leonard. He did make himself some money, earned himself a higher draft pick in this game for sure.
Yeah.
He'll be at the Senior Bowl. I really thought that he was going to be the one making mistakes, but he was really the one that wasn't making mistakes because you look at this Notre Dame team, and there's nobody on the offense that you can point out. Now, one kid that I would say they might have found themselves a wide receiver in these past 2 games.
Oh, yeah.
Jaden Greathouse.
Yeah.
Damn.
Tell you what, man.
Yeah, it was just towards the end of the game whenever Notre Dame was trying to mount a comeback, it was Riley Leonard and Jaden Greathouse. Jaden Greathouse finished this game with 128 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 catches. He was very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just a redshirt freshman, I want to say.
He's young.
He's a sophomore. But either way, this kid was impressive, but all the rest of the impressiveness happened to come from the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, they ran shop all day. They wrecked shop all day. Will Howard was 17 for 21, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he added 16 carries for 57 yards on the ground. I mean, he was just kind of doing it all. Quinshon Judkins, he went 11 for 100 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and he was their main rusher in this game. But Jeremiah Smith, he was 5 for 88 with a touchdown, so that young kid doing work out there too. These young kids, man, they're doing work. But
that's crazy.
They're all over the place. And then pretty much their whole defense made a play. Everyone on their defensive side made plays.
They really did. This was a big. I mean, they'd been splitting Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins carries-wise all season. And Quinshawn Judkins looked very, very good in this game. Explosive, breaking tackles like crazy. 70-yard rushing touchdown in this game. One of his 2 touchdowns in this game. He looked very, very impressive. He even added a receiving touchdown as well. Quinshawn Judkins is going to be probably about a 3rd-round pick. Him and Travion Henderson were pretty close in draft stock before this game, but Quinshawn on the biggest stage really stepped up and showed out. One more, back to Riley Leonard real quick. The entire first drive of the Irish was all Riley Leonard, and they just kept running him like a wrecking ball into the front line, and then to so much that he was throwing up on the sidelines after that first drive.
Yeah, I mean, the coach was probably like, all right, we should probably cool down a bit.
Marcus Freeman's like okay. It worked. We scored there, but that was 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that looked rough.
Yeah, it did. But, basically, we knew going into this game, just like you said, that Ohio State was the more talented team, and especially on paper, and, it showed up on the field, too. This is just kind of one of those games where it's just like, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Didn't really have to watch it too much. It was mostly a bloodbath.
I mean, props to Marcus Freeman and that coaching staff, though. I mean, that team, they were in it the whole game, especially Riley Leonard. Like, they didn't quit. They were trying to stay in that game and trying to mount a comeback. So all the props to Marcus Freeman and all those guys. And I don't know what Marcus Freeman's future looks like if he's at Notre Dame or somewhere else, but
he got some head coaching interviews.
Yeah.
He
deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, he got some interviews from some teams. Obviously didn't accept or get hired by any of those NFL teams. But, I was surprised whenever I saw his name. I was like, I guess people are kind of taking notice of, like, how kind of little talent this team has, but he still got them.
Yeah, guys play for him.
The biggest stage in college football. Guys do play for him, and he's, like, young and fiery. He looks pissed off every time they show him on the game.
Hair's clean, though.
Yeah.
He probably felt something in that game, too, because he's an ex-Ohio State guy.
Yeah.
Ohio State player. So, no, all the props to him and that team, man. They're good team that we didn't even know would go the distance. But
I like how they showed Lou Holtz a couple times.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Up in like his
the box.
Suite. The box.
Yeah.
Lou Holtz.
So that was cool. I mean, I don't think really anyone was that surprised by this, but it was overall not pretty entertaining game. It wasn't a complete blowout like Ohio State's done sometimes. All right, let's move into NFL, huh?
Yeah, Cody.
NFL, the division games.
Yeah, Cody, go ahead. You can tell us what happened in the AFC atmosphere, and then I'll tell us what happened in the NFC to get us to where we are, the Super Bowl matchup that nobody wanted.
Yep, pretty much. So first game we will talk about the Chiefs side, obviously. The Texans-Chiefs. Texans lost to the Chiefs 23-14 at the home of the Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium. GEHA Field, whatever it is. But GEHA Field. And they were loud, as always, but boy, did this Texans team look bad. Yeah. They just looked bad. And by the offense, not that bad. Like, not the worst, but boy, was their O-line and special teams horrid. Awful. Just bad. They let up 8 sacks. They had missed kicks. They missed a field goal and an extra point. They had one field goal blocked, and they let up big special teams plays. Like on the first kick to Remigio, they let up a big return on the first play of the game.
That guy's been going crazy.
That guy has been going crazy. But like they let up big plays all game long, and their O-line and special teams specifically were just bad. They did not. They've been bad all year. I forget the number of sacks they've let up all season, but like 60. It's in the 60s, yeah. But they've been really bad, and they didn't fix it here. And with those sacks, they just let up too many negative plays in general. They were putting them in situations like 2nd and 16, 3rd and 12, like long situations that are going to be like obvious passing situations, so the Chiefs can sit back and rest and like play that. So they just put them in bad yards to gain situations all game long and knocking them out of field goal range 1 or 2 times when they could have possibly tried a field goal. So they just look bad on that side of the ball. And of course, there are also, as everyone knows with this game, there are also controversial calls for the Chiefs, as usual, with roughing the pass. Well, not roughing the pass, they called it unnecessary roughness. but so bad that even Troy Aikman was like, all right, that ain't
pissed off.
Yeah, that ain't anything.
They didn't even hit him.
Yeah, it didn't even hit him. So that'll happen with it. That'll happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. But other than that, the Texans also forgot that Travis Kelce existed and just decided to not cover him because he's the one that had the biggest game this week. I think he was like 7 for $117 or something like that, and one touchdowns. One touchdown.
Yeah.
So this has happened the past few weeks for the playoffs. People just forget that Travis Kelce exists and just decide to not cover him at all. But I don't know. The game, nothing. It was a good game by the Chiefs defense, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the Chiefs defense stepped up and played incredibly well, and they've been stepping up all year, but they played very, very well this year. Mainly the defensive line. They were obviously 8 sacks, killing them all game long. Karlaftis seemed to be all over the field.
3 sacks for George Karlaftis.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like what a player. He's just a stud.
Yeah.
But the Texans, they did win like the time of possession battle, and they had more yardage overall. But with the penalties, they had more penalties than the Chiefs, and all the negative plays that put them in terrible position. That's what ended up giving you this game that it was pretty somewhat boring. That you knew what was going to happen the whole game long. Texans couldn't get anything going consistently, and that's just what it is. Chiefs move on.
Yeah.
Anything else on that from you?
No, Kaimi Fairbairn, who had been one of the best kickers in the league this year, left 7 points on the board in this one. Which,
it was bad.
mean, theoretically, you make all those kicks, you get this game down to 2 points, and then, anything can happen. Because, at the end of the game, Texans were down by 9 points. That's 2 possessions. So, you
even
play
blocking a field goal, they
Yeah.
gave the Chiefs like possession on the other side of their own 50.
Yeah.
Like the other side of the 50. So, yeah, it just puts them in bad situations. But we'll move on to the Ravens-Bills game. Ravens lost to the Bills in a thriller, 27-25. The game of the week of the year.
Yeah.
Of the playoffs. So this is the game we were all looking forward to. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, how can you go wrong with this game? And it pretty much ended up being exactly what we thought it would be. Close, tight, whoever made the most mistakes would lose. And that's exactly what happened. Both teams scored a touchdown early. And I got to shout out my guy, Ray Davis. He scored that first touchdown and made some big plays this game for the Bills. But the Bills then, after that, went on to basically dominate the whole first half.
Yeah.
And then they came back out. Bills were quiet in the third quarter. Lamar and the Ravens started getting something going and mounted that comeback. But between the Ravens' turnovers, very, very uncharacteristic turnovers. Lamar threw a pick. He's only thrown like 4 all year or something like that.
Yep.
Lamar fumbled it in very uncharacteristic fashion. And then another fumble by Mark Andrews. Poor guy didn't. He's going through it. But
probably worst game of his career.
Yeah.
Damn.
But those are just all very uncharacteristic, especially by Lamar. He normally does not make those mistakes. But between those and they tried a couple 2-point attempts to get it within a touchdown or a field goal or just to tie it, obviously, at the end. Between those couple failed attempts, that put them out of reach of the Bills, too. The Bills didn't have to do that much because Josh Allen did not have a great game.
It wasn't a big hero game.
Didn't do anything special. No, just kind of did his job, and that's what won. So between, the Bills won time of possession. The Bills won the turnover battle. They didn't have any turnovers themselves. They had less penalties and just less mistakes in general. And they also did a very good job of limiting Derrick Henry. I think he ended with like 80-some yards.
84 yards.
Which sounds like a lot, but not for Derrick Henry. Not at all for Derrick Henry. So, and they limited Lamar a lot. He only had 39 rush yards, which is uncommon, uncharacteristic for Lamar. So all that helped catapult the Bills to the AFC Championship game. But on the Ravens side, they did, like I just said, they did do a great job of containing Josh Allen. He was only 16 for 22, 127 yards and 0 touchdowns passing. And he did run for 2, but it was only like 2 short rush touchdowns. But you still got to stop it. But they did a good job of not letting him do his normal thing and just completely take over the game. But, all that just helped the Bills squeak their way finally to that AFC Championship game to face their rivals, the Chiefs.
jeez. Want me to go over to my divisional game?
Yeah, then we'll hit the championships.
All right, so probably one of the most exciting games of the week, but just, I guess, shocker from a fan's perspective. The Commanders went into Detroit and just scalped the Lions. It was 45-31. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders beat the Lions. We'll talk about the Lions because their season is over.
Oh, man.
My takeaway was, quote, "'Twas too good to be true."
Because
it almost never feels like the best team in the NFL wins the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, last year, I can confidently say that the best team in the NFL was the 49ers. Like, they were an amazing team. The Chiefs had another bad year last year and still ended up winning the Super Bowl. While the Lions, we can all agree, basically since like beginning of the year.
I'd say like week 4.
Yeah, that's whenever we realized, like, oh shit, they're beating the shit out of teams.
Yeah, they're serious because they lost early.
Yeah.
To the Vikings maybe.
Buccaneers.
That's who it was. They lost early, but by week 4, week 5, we're like, okay, these guys are for real.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
serious.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds us how many things have to go your way to finish in first place, because this is a game. This is like a good like metaphor, but like football is a game where the ball is not round. The ball does not always bounce your way. You don't know how it's going to bounce. You go into the game, start 0-0, anything can happen, which is how this Commanders team kind of got here. Nobody thought they'd be here.
No.
But you got 32 professional football teams. A lot has to go right for you to even get to this point, to get to the divisional round, let alone get to the Super Bowl. But man, it sucks.
It sucks so bad.
It sucks so bad. This is what I would call Lions are the true America's team,
yes,
right?
100%.
I would say, like, nobody hates Detroit.
No.
I mean, maybe the city. Let me
say,
nobody hates the Lions.
No, I don't think so.
Because, like, even I don't hear Isaac, a Packers fan, complain about the Lions. Like, whenever the Lions are doing well, everybody's like, okay.
I don't think Vikings fans hate the Lions.
No, you just can't hate Dan Campbell in this team.
No.
Like,
there's someone on that team you want to root for.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, let me just say it's not over for this team because I still think there's so much talent. Now, it is over this year.
Oh, it's definitely over.
But as far as, like, for their future, I'm not really scared. Say what you want about the Lions losing both offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Both of them have since gone off to get their own head coaching jobs. But if
that'll hurt.
Yeah, it definitely will hurt. But if this team is still led by Dan Campbell, I personally believe in this team. I guess I can't speak for you or Carson.
I do. If Dan Campbell's there and that GM's there, I'm in.
Yeah. Brad Holmes.
Brad Holmes.
Yep. But we believe. I mean, nobody plays harder, in my opinion, in the whole NFL than these Lions players coached by Dan Campbell.
No, their whole defense was backups.
The whole backups, and they all bought in.
Yeah.
Like, they did what they could. Yeah, they let up 45 points in this game, but, like...
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, exactly. There's still positions that need to be fixed on this Lions team. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, we got to... I hate doing it because I'm a Jared Goff guy, but we got to start with Jared Goff in this game. Not that I think Jared Goff should be replaced, because I don't. I don't think he should be replaced. At the end of the day, though, his physical talent, I feel like we can both agree, is just average.
Sure, yeah.
Average. But, like, what he does with it to kind of elevate himself, the help that he has around him, he's usually been great. He had a great season this year. No doubt about that.
Yep.
It always just kind of felt like he was playing way ahead of his skis. He's just, like, leaned too far forward.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then sometimes, eventually, he just, like, tumbles. Like, remember the 5-interception game?
Yep.
Where they still won.
They won that game.
They still won that game against the Texans.
Yeah.
But that's just one of the kind of examples where he had a span of great games this season, and then all of a sudden he just shat the bed. Like, terrible game that'd bring him back down to average. It's like, wow, this guy's a great quarterback, and he's like, average.
Yeah.
Like, around, like, the 10, like, 8 to 12 quarterback range, I would say.
Have you seen those comparisons of, like, him being compared to, I think it's Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
It's
he
like
looks exactly like him.
It's basically you're watching Jared Goff while you're sling the pill, and you're like squinting and you're watching him like, man, that guy looks like Ryan Gosling. Yeah. Then he throws 5 picks and you're like, oh goodness, that's Jared Goff. Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much.
But
no, he played great all year.
He did. He really did. but he just kind of had some moments where it was like,
oh yeah,
regression to the mean at its finest.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Well said.
In week 2 as well, I marked this one down against the Buccaneers. That was one of their 2 losses of the season.
Yep.
He went 34 or 55 for 307 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's not even that terrible. Week 10 was the 5 interception game against the Texans that the Lions still won. And then in this divisional round, he went 23 of 40, 313 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. It just I know it's not all his fault, but in this game, under the brightest lights, it was not a good showing where those interceptions kind of they played a difference in this game. Whenever you lost by 2 touchdowns, those interceptions mattered. And then finally, the defense just finally gave in.
Yep,
like you said,
did.
I mean, they kept slapping Band-Aids on bullet holes. Shout out Morgan Wallen. But is that Morgan Wallen?
I don't know.
Band-Aid on bullet hole.
Sure.
I feel like I'm
one of those guys.
Yeah, it's one of those country singers. I don't really listen to it. But
me neither.
But I mean, they had to bring in some new faces to get some significant playing time, basically every single week on this defense. Yeah. And some of those quick replacements have played well this season and like bought into the Lions' hard-nosed culture. Guys like Zadarius Smith they brought in at the trade deadline. Yep. A dude every week I saw him 69, number 69, Al-Qadim Muhammad.
Yeah.
Never heard of that guy.
Me neither.
Like about a month ago, and then I was like, damn, this guy's making some plays.
Playing.
David Long, who I think was on linebacker, who was on like 3 teams this year.
Yes, yeah.
Kendall Vildor came off the practice squad whenever the cornerbacks sucking all year long.
Yep.
Have they been as good as the original starters? No, but they've each played kind of big roles, big moments for this defense. And I mean, whenever your quarterback turns the ball over 4 times and you're going up against the Commanders' offense that literally does not punt. They don't punt. They don't turn the ball over. It's tough to stay strong and keep your team in this game. So I hate putting all of this on Jared Goff because I am a Goff believer, as I said. But he just played one of his worst games of the season in the absolute biggest moments.
At the worst time.
Yeah. And whenever you're in the playoff teams are good enough to take advantage of your mistakes. And
100%.
The Commanders absolutely were, which brings me to the Commanders' takeaway. Jaden Daniels does not play like a rookie. And this isn't the new takeaway. It's just I'm watching the game and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's taking advantage of every wrong thing the Lions are doing.
Yep.
Time and time again. You got to 45 points on what we thought was the best team in the league. And I would still say, what we know now, maybe they're not the best, but they're still top 3 easily, I would say.
Yep.
But it kind of all comes back to scouting last year. I personally am a big fan that college football players are staying that extra year or 2 in college to better themselves before entering the NFL draft. It works.
Yep.
Even Bo Nix had a great rookie season.
He did. Very good.
He looked great.
Yep.
I mean, forget potential, quote, that a guy has to, quote, maybe be great. Like
Anthony Richardson.
Whenever I think back to like my Anthony Richardson takes, I'm like, why do I like this guy? Like every other player, I like to see that they're a good player before I buy into them. But like Anthony Richardson's something different.
He's a freak show.
I still believe.
Yeah. But
anyways, I'd rather have the player stay in college longer to prove that they are a great player at that level before moving on to the pro level because you can see it's a whole different speed, everybody's strong, everybody's fast, everybody's smarter than you.
Yep.
Unless it's Jaden Daniels.
Right.
Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, these guys just kind of get it. The game is slower for them than it is for, say, Caleb Williams, who was seeing ghosts. Sam Darnold, back in his early days, could not complete a damn pass. Zach Wilson still can't complete a damn pass. But Jaden Daniels is just so damn smart, and he really shows that playmaking ability through the air and on the ground. I mean, every game, there's constantly a quarterback spy on him watching Jaden Daniels, trying to limit his rushing upside because there are teams that are already scared of that ability of his that he has with his legs. So if they make him throw, it turns out he's accurate, and he just drops dimes all game.
He does.
In this game, he went 22 of 31, 299 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 picks, to a bunch of wide receiver 3s, wide receiver 4s outside of Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles shipped out Zach Ertz literally 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they're like, he's old and he's washed. And Zach Ertz had a career year this year with Jaden Daniels. De'Ami Brown went out in this game and put up 6 catches for 98 yards. De'Ami Brown.
He had a resurgence this year.
He really did.
Thanks to Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, and also props to Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes. What a stud.
Making this team and offense hum all season. Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury did, and they didn't crumble in the biggest moments.
No.
There was like no fear, and that's what commentators go on like talking about whenever they talk about Jaden Daniels. Like, damn, this kid is so calm under pressure.
I love that so much about him.
Yeah.
He just looks the part.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just whenever they show like the slow-mos of him in the pocket or like moving around, escaping
like,
something. No, he's just like I think it's the same face the whole time.
Yeah.
Similar to like Jalen Hurts. Like just
mellow.
okay, cool. You're coming at me. Let's just roll over here and throw a 55-yard ball to Terry McLaurin at the corner of the end zone or something like that. He's calm, cool, collected all the time.
Yeah, composed when the lights are brightest,
Yep.
and then he makes plays.
Yeah.
I mean,
boy does
and
it.
it's not like he's been getting any help from his defense to keep him in games. The defense has been middle of the pack all season, 18th in points allowed, 13th in yards allowed. But the offense has shown up time and time again, and it's been a true pleasure to watch all season.
It has been.
And then we were blessed enough to watch him play one more game. We'll get to that one in a minute here. But that's about it for Commanders Lions. You got anything more to say?
No, we pretty much nailed it. Sad the Lions are gone, but awesome to watch Jaden Daniels just dominate in his rookie year.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought C.J. Stroud would be the last one we'd see in a while, but then comes Jaden Daniels and is somehow one-upping him.
Probably the best rookie quarterback season of all time.
Probably, yeah.
As far as like how far he's taken his team and
not even that, but new head coach this year.
Yeah.
And just humming, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome to watch.
It is crazy considering where this team was even 2 years ago. Down in the dumps.
Yep.
They got the number 2 pick in this draft, so they were obviously very bad last year.
Very bad.
Let's talk about Rams Eagles. This was a true game of two halves. Not really gameplay wise, but we're talking like snow wise. This was a crazy game. But the Eagles ended up winning at home 28-22. But blizzard halfway through the game.
Yeah.
The first half highlights versus the second half highlights
awesome.
looked like completely two different games.
Yeah, it was
it
awesome.
was crazy. Yeah. So bad to the point where they had to like manufacture the black field numbers up onto the screen just so you could tell where we were at.
Yep.
Because like even I love how even the commentators were like, I think that was the 44-yard line that he caught that ball at.
Love
caught that. Puka Nacua catches that ball at what I think is the 44-yard line.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Damn.
We really don't know, yeah.
But talk about the Rams first because they lost. But, I mean, this team really impressed me in those two playoff games. They awoke once the playoffs started, like, fight of a tiger. It was like fire, tidal wave, whatever you want to call it. Something that's very explosive and angry coming after you. That was the Rams in these two playoff games. And I didn't really see it consistently throughout the regular season. It was hit or miss.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, that's what we talked about all year.
Yep.
But like how I said, kind of like Buccaneers were playing fiery, though the Rams carried their own wildfire from L.A.
They did.
To both of these playoffs games. The Rams outgained the Eagles, actually. They sacked Jalen Hurts more. They were more successful in the pass game. Here's some of the stats of this game. Matt Stafford looked great. He went 26 of 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, and half of that was in the snow, in the blizzard. He did fumble once. I think that was a big product of the snow. Kyron Williams also fumbled once too, but he even put up a great game numbers-wise. 19 carries for 106 rushing yards. And then Puka Nacua did his thing. 6 catches for 97 yards. DeMarcus Robinson, 3 catches for 74 yards. Cooper Kupp actually got more than 2 targets in this game.
Yeah, he's back.
5 catches for 61 yards. Tyler Higbee, ever since he's come back in the playoff run, he's been a big part of their offense. Like, huge. A lot of catches.
Yeah.
10 targets in this game, 7 catches, 54 yards, and 1 touchdown. I got to give props to we're Jared Verse guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we love Jared Verse, but how he's talking shit to Eagles fans all week, saying how they're so annoying, they make him mad.
Yeah, yeah.
He came out and he backed up his talk. Like, the rest of the defense might have kind of let him down a little bit, but Jared Verse put up 5 pressures, 2 sacks, and another tackle for loss. And every time he got a sack, he went, ooh, and everybody booed.
I love that guy.
I love Jared Verse.
That guy.
Big motor guy.
Big motor.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, the Rams, they just were brought down by the same thing as the Lions. Turnovers. Fumbled by Kyron Williams and Matt Stafford both in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, the margins are smaller.
Yes.
And they say that, and you might, like, not know what that means. But that means that, like, you being good, basically, if we're talking about levels here, the Rams were here. Well, the Eagles were here. It's like that margin is very small. So, like, if you're playing a team that is very similarly ranked, like, overall-wise, skill-wise to you, then if you make a mistake, they're going to take advantage of that because you would do the same thing if you were on their end.
Yep.
Because you're both very, very good teams. But you guys show up in the biggest moments. And now, I still believe that this Rams team is on the come up. They're still improving. Outside of Matt Stafford, this team is stocked full of young, crazy talent. I talked about the whole defensive line. Most of the entire defense is so young. You know Puka Nacua, this was only his second year. Cooper Kupp might be gone. He's like the old head on this offense.
Might be gone, yeah.
This was only Kyren Williams' third year.
Yeah.
But they've had back-to-back amazing draft classes that have shaped this team. Here's what I want to see them do. I want to see them bring back Matt Stafford for one more go-around.
Yeah, might as well.
I mean, did he look like he declined a little? Yes, but I think he can still make some amazing throws. And if you're the Rams, you don't have a clear succession plan right now.
No.
You got Jimmy Garoppolo and Stetson Bennett behind him. Neither one of them are going to be
world beaters.
Yeah. So I'd bring in a better, younger backup with potential who you'd feel okay starting in case anything would happen to Stafford throughout the season. Like, if you could get Justin Fields for a cheap deal, which I don't know if I see that happening with how sparse the quarterback market is with the terrible draft class, and the best free agent you might have is Sam Darnold. But I don't know. So Justin Fields might be like, hey, I'm one of the best ones here. You pay me. But if they can get a young backup like that, who they can maybe build around in the future and get at least one more good year out of Matt Stafford, I think you're humming with this team.
Yeah, I think so too. They got the bones for it for sure.
They seriously do.
Yeah, 100%.
As far as for the Eagles, this team just grinds out wins. Did Jalen Hurts play well? Absolutely not.
No.
He was terrible in this game. He was sacked 7 times, 5 times whenever he was blitzed. He held onto the ball too long. He took a safety in this game.
Yeah.
That was before it even started snowing. He could clearly see the lines on the field.
Yeah, it was bad.
But at the end of the day, it didn't matter.
No.
Because this is the most talented roster in the NFL, I would say. If you're looking like paper, now like I'm talking on paper, I think this is the most talented roster.
Yeah.
Lions are definitely, I would say, better as far as what they can put out on the field, but like you look at the receivers, the defensive line, the entire defense. Actually.
Yeah, the defense.
It's miles ahead of the Lions.
Agreed.
On paper, this team looks like the best roster in the NFL, and when this team looks for a big play, they hand it off to Saquon. It's not chuck the ball down the field. It's let's hand the ball off, which for most other teams is like that's the safest way to get chunk yards. Get maybe like 4 or 5 yards a pop. That's a good day running the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Damn good day running the ball. Not with Saquon.
No.
He's going to break one off for you at the beginning of the game, and then at the end of the game, he's going to break another one off for you. And that happened in this game.
Yeah.
Yes, clockwork. It's like setting your clock. I mean, 26 carries, 205 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and the second leading receiver on this team in this game. 4 catches for another 27 receiving yards, 62-yard touchdown run while the grass was still green.
Yeah, it was.
And then 78-yard touchdown run whenever you couldn't even tell if there was grass anymore.
No. I freaking love this guy. So good. All year long.
That's your best take of the season. Saquon.
Yeah.
And my worst take. I thought he was going to be like washed. Thought this guy was cooked.
You weren't alone.
And Saquon on that 78-yard snow run, he was allegedly confused and thought he lined up on the wrong side of Jalen Hurts. He looked over at him. He's like
I saw that.
Like a mic.
Yeah.
Like there was a mic on the field.
Yeah.
Am I on the wrong side? He's like, no, man, you good. And then handed the ball off and took it 78 yards, one play, 78-yard drive.
To the house.
In the snow. Now, this offensive line, again, is amazing.
All-stars. Yeah.
They hold up for Saquon, and they also hold up in pass protection, give Jalen Hurts an immense amount of times that Jalen Hurts can hold onto the ball for an eternity. Man, it pisses me off watching Jalen Hurts. But once again, it worked. I mean, was it pretty? No. Saquon was pretty.
Saquon was pretty.
The aesthetics probably were pretty with the snow.
Snow, yeah,
it's
sure.
Beautiful. A snow globe game.
Just don't look at the stats or the box score.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts running around forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the defense on the other side of the ball here, they did show up. Jalen Carter was the Jared Verse of the Eagles here. He was terrorizing Matt Stafford all game long.
Yeah.
He forced a fumble out of Matt Stafford. He forced a fumble out of Kyron Williams. He had 7 pressures, 2 sacks, forced fumbles. Nolan Smith chipped in 6 pressures and 1 sack of his own.
Yeah,
Big year, as you've pointed out.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Bond continued to show why he's a first-team All-Pro right there beside Fred Warner, the best in the league.
Yep.
Orton Burks stepped up in this game tremendously with Nakobe Dean on the shelf.
Yep.
And then, once again, the entire secondary is amazing. No fly zone like they have been all season.
Yeah.
And Quinyon Mitchell even left this game after 9 snaps.
Yeah, he did.
Isaiah Rodgers filled in and made some plays, though, including almost returning that Kyron Williams forced fumble into a touchdown. But just this team's just gritty, man. They've got many ways to beat you on the offense, on the defense. They look great on paper, and they've been looking great on the field throughout this playoff run.
Yeah.
After what many of us, including me, questioned them, like, they might get out first round.
Oh, I think everyone did.
Yeah.
Everyone's been hating Sirianni, wanting him out, and wanting everyone out, and they're back in the Super Bowl.
This is a big, angry Philadelphia-style playoff run that they've been on.
Yeah.
And it's been, I don't really want to say fun to watch because they took out the Commanders in the next round, but it's been impressive to watch.
That has been impressive, yeah.
Tell us what happened in the AFC Championship.
All right, AFC Championship, Bills, Chiefs, a rematch of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Well, what happened? Same thing as always. Chiefs beat the Bills 32-29. This was a game where it felt like everyone was rooting for the Bills, except for Taylor Swift, the Swifties, Kansas City, and the bandwagoners.
Yeah.
Man, and unfortunately ended how most people knew it would.
Yeah.
And in the back of their minds, we can all hope that they lose. They're just too good. They need to lose.
Yeah.
And then we know. We know they're going to win. But this game, the Bills did not look good. They just... What it looked like watching the game was that they could not carry any momentum. They couldn't get it going. They'd look really good, have a good drive. Josh Allen would throw a bomb deep to Mac Hollins, who made an incredible catch or two.
He's crazy.
Oh, my. He's an animal.
At random points, though.
Oh, yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just at random points, you can almost count on him to make something happen.
Especially this game. It was so random for the Bills. They'd look really good, and then they'd look bad. And then they'd look good again, and then bad. Just do something really bad. And their defense was horrible. Their tackling was bad. They couldn't. Their coverage was bad, and their defense seemingly forgot how to defense. I don't know. It was kind of aggravating to watch. Like Taylor Rapp was out this game, but that should not have made everyone else forget how to tackle. Like Kareem Hunt was breaking tackles.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
That shouldn't happen. Like he's a good back. But he should not be breaking tackles like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley does.
He's past his prime.
Yeah, and they were letting him do that. And just the whole package of the defense was ugly for a lot of this game. And they just, like I said, they could never get any momentum going. They'd make a big play and then would either fail on a fourth down conversion or fail on a tush push, which has been dominant all year long. Yeah. But they could not get Josh Allen across that line. The Chiefs had their number on that one. They couldn't get anything going. So that's props to Chiefs defense. Yes. I mean, they were that's nearly unstoppable with Josh Allen. But so props to Chiefs defense on that. And just if the Bills did have momentum, the Chiefs would answer. The Chiefs answered this game. They make a big play. Pat Mahomes would have a big rush. Yeah. Or something like that. So and Josh just couldn't get anything going on the Bills side. He didn't have any rushing touchdowns and was bottled up all game long. His stats aren't even anything to write home about. He was 22 for 34, 237 yards. He did have 2 passing touchdowns. So that's where it came in. But his rushing game that's normally there was not existent at all. 11 for 39 on the ground. 0 touchdowns. Yeah, like I said, they just couldn't get it consistently going this game. On the other side of the ball, Xavier Worthy, that pick that the Bills basically traded. Xavier Worthy nearly single-handedly handed the Bills this loss. Xavier Worthy had a lot of yards, as I'm finding the stats. He was 6 for 85 and a touchdown. And seemingly, whenever the Chiefs needed a play, just give it to Worthy. He's faster than everybody. He can catch just about everything. And it's just ironic that it's The Bills basically gave the Chiefs Xavier Worthy. If you don't remember in the draft, they traded back to get Keon Coleman.
Mm-hmm. They literally traded with the Chiefs. Everybody said whenever it happened, now the Bills probably thought, like, you guys are overreacting, but everybody said, like, why would you trade with them for them to go get the wide receiver that they want?
Yep.
What are you doing? And then turns out,
look what happens.
For once, the public is right.
Yeah, look what happens. That's really the most on even the Chiefs' side. Their defense was incredible.
Yes.
They played lights out all game long. More Karlaftis action. They were all over the place. Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, Justin Reed making plays, and they were all over the place this game, like they have been. They've been playing for Steve Spagnuolo, however people say it, but they were great in that aspect. As far as the QBs, neither quarterback was special this game. Pat Mahomes didn't end up with anything crazy stats-wise, but he did have the better day. Mahomes did have a better day this game, and he wanted it. He wanted this game more. He helped this team, the Chiefs, win a lot this game by his 2 big rushing touchdowns. Like, that's not normal for Pat Mahomes, but they needed it, and he went out and got it. And his scrambles, too. He had some big scrambles to get first downs and keep the team rolling down the field. So props to him for that. He clearly had the better day. His rushing, he was 11 for 43 and 2 touchdowns. That is not a Pat Mahomes stat line. He'll get out and scramble.
Yeah.
But he's not a tush-push guy. He's not scoring rushing touchdowns normally. So props to him for that. He was 18 for 26, 245, and 1 touchdown through the air also to add to that. But, yeah, it was just felt like the Chiefs all game long. The Chiefs had the Bills' number. And, yeah, so with all that helps to carry the Chiefs to yet another Super Bowl to try to make history with a three-peat.
Yeah, and I can't even, I don't know. I don't want to say complain about this game because I want to complain about this game because none of us want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But they were the better team here.
They were, yeah.
There wasn't really any magic here that you can argue that's some bullshit. Bills should have won this game. It's just
there's always weird calls too.
Yeah.
But I mean, in my opinion, there wasn't that many this game.
No.
I'm not even that mad about this game just because it's like Chiefs played better, man.
Chiefs played better. They made less mistakes. The Bills fumbled it 4 times. They somehow got all of them back. All of them back.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But it just, Chiefs were the better team, and they made the plays. They've been here before.
Yep.
And Bills fans are obviously going to be upset. They should be.
They should be, yeah.
This is the 4th straight loss of the Bills to the Chiefs in the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Bills have won the past 3 matchups in the regular season.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Chiefs outsmarted them. We all saw that last play where maybe Dalton Kincaid should have caught it. He was diving back towards it, hit him right in the chest as he was diving for it.
Yep.
Maybe he should have caught that, but
you can point to a lot of different things in that game that could have went better.
Yes.
Just like the Bills-Ravens game. Mm-hmm. People, hopefully, I mean,
I don't know. With a tight end dropping a catch.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Both teams.
If people are actually on Mark Andrews about that, they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude dropped it. Sure, he should have caught it. Yeah, definitely. But Lamar shouldn't have thrown a pick. It was an ugly pick. Lamar shouldn't have fumbled it.
No, Lamar made it.
Yeah.
The Ravens as a whole made a ton of mistakes.
Yep.
Throughout this entire playoffs, basically, the motto is, you make mistakes, you're going to lose.
Chiefs, Bills, make mistakes, you're going to lose.
That's what happened here. I mean, and back to that last play, that Steve Spagnuolo is going to blitz.
Yes.
The entire world, if you watch any Steve Spagnuolo, on that last play, have to have it. You're going to be throwing the ball.
Yep.
He's going to be sending people at you. They didn't leave a running back in to help chip the block. They sent 2 corners coming after Josh Allen. He was running around. It was honestly an impressive throw.
It was.
To even get it down.
He was on his back foot. He was basically falling backwards.
Yeah, he was running away from 3 guys. Yep. It looked like a lion being chased down by it was more like a hyena being chased down by a pack of lions.
Yeah.
He's just kind of scrambling, and then all of a sudden he just got to chuck it up in the air, and somehow you can see that the angle that I watched it from, that was like behind Josh Allen. You can see the ball curve in the air like because of the wind.
Yep.
So I mean, it was going to be even more accurate than that.
It was a dot. Yeah, it was a dot.
Still hit him in the hands.
Yep.
He dropped it, but once again, that's not the only mistake that happened. It is just funny though that Ravens lost. Last play that they had the ball was a tight end dropping a ball. This one was a tight end dropping the ball. I'm just hoping that the Super Bowl ends with Travis Kelce dropping a ball.
Ooh, there we go. Now we're talking.
Can we please get that in the script?
Now we're talking.
Honestly, about the whole script thing, like NFL's rigged, Chiefs shouldn't be there. But this, honestly, think about it. I think that the NFL would have been more rigged if the Chiefs didn't win this game. Think about how many people are not going to watch the Super Bowl because the Chiefs are in it again. All over social media, I don't see a single Chiefs love. Unless you're a lifelong Chiefs fan or you're one of the few bandwagoners who like the Chiefs. Like,
I think there's a lot more than a few, but yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think you're tired of the Chiefs. Like, I basically guarantee, I'm not good with TV ratings, but I know that a rookie quarterback, I know that Josh Allen's first Super Bowl ever would have gotten way more views than the third straight Super Bowl for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like, people on social media are tired of the Chiefs. So, like, if the NFL was going to rig it toward anybody, I think they'd rig it toward the Bills to try to get them to the Super Bowl. They'd even let the Commanders win for a rookie to make the Super Bowl.
True. Yeah.
Because think about, everybody's tired of the Eagles too.
Oh,
This is the Super Bowl that nobody wanted.
Pretty much.
And you see how these the posts that say that are getting millions and millions of likes. Like, I know that likes don't equal TV ratings. And, people are still going to watch the Super Bowl. It is the biggest event in the entire country every single year.
Most watched,
watched.
by far.
Yeah, but I guarantee you it would have gotten more views if the Bills made it.
Probably, but it'll still come out as record amount of views and things like that. However views work.
I don't know, but still.
We might have 10 people watching on one TV. How do they?
Yeah, exactly. But I think that Chiefs deserve to win this game.
Yeah, they did. They played better.
They did play better.
Yeah, that's that. I just feel bad for Josh Allen and that Bills team, man. I feel bad, but
the entire Bills mafia.
Yeah, Chiefs played better. Their experience shined through. Shined through.
Shined.
Their experience shined through.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't like this game.
No.
Much like how I didn't like the last game that Cody just covered here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our beloved Jaden Daniels lost to the Eagles in what was a smackdown. Eagles won 55-23. Talk about the Commanders first, as I have been doing. Talk about this losing team first. This is what happens whenever you get to the playoffs with an average defense versus Saquon Barkley in 2024.
Yeah.
Now 2025, but 2024 season Saquon
24-25 season.
Yes, there you go. There's not a single Commanders defender who earned a defensive grade higher than 72 in this game, according to PFF. So that's
gross.
A C at the best.
Yeah.
On Saquon's 60-yard rushing touchdown in the first quarter, he broke 3 tackles. 2 of them were from Jeremy Chin, who got spun out, and then he fell. And then he was still somewhat close to him because Saquon is still getting out of his spin. Fell right on his stomach. Then he tried to launch at him like a frog, leap at him. Missed him again. He just got cooked on the spin move. Jeremy Chin did.
Yeah,
but
he did.
The whole Eagles offense did whatever they wanted all game long.
Yep.
Here's the Eagles stats here. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 28, 246 yards, 1 touchdown, only sacked him twice. Saquon Barkley, 15 carries for 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Shout out Will Shipley.
Hey.
Will Shipley.
Will
Carson's
Shipley.
Guy.
Yeah, Clemson.
My guy for me, too. Clemson, white boy. He had a 57-yard run there at the end of the game. Whenever it didn't really matter, but it was still impressive to see.
It was awesome, yeah.
I got some Eagles fans that I work with, and they're like, man, I love Will Shipley. Like, most of them didn't know who he was until that
definitely
play.
not,
But, like, I'm rooting for Will Shipley. Yeah. You guys didn't know who that guy was.
You guys weren't there at the
We've
beginning.
been here.
Yeah.
We've been here.
Been here for a minute.
Yeah. But A.J. Brown, he had 6 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith had a very efficient game himself, 4 catches for 45 yards. And then Dallas Goedert. Tight ends are showing up, man.
I love Dallas Goedert.
I feel like all of this playoff run is like tight end dependent.
Very.
Because
the whole season.
Live or die by the tight end in this playoff run.
Nearly the whole season.
Yeah, basically the whole season, too. Yeah. Dallas Goedert, 7 catches for 85 yards in this game. And once again, Jalen Hurts held onto the ball for forever, like usual.
Oh, yeah.
But the Commanders have no good pass rusher to like threaten him consistently. There's no Jared Verse. There's no Myles Garrett. There's no T.J. Watt. There's no Chris Jones.
No.
Their best pass rusher all year has been, damn, I can't even remember his name. Dante Fowler. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
kind of
really
gross. Yeah.
Kind of gross. But Marshawn Lattimore and Mikey Sanderstill, who has had a great rookie season. In this game, they got cooked.
They did.
They got cooked.
They got cooked in this game. And Jaden Daniels, I think, played a good game.
He did, yeah.
He threw a pick, but like if you go back and watch that, it was a desperate kind of throw. Threw it up in the end zone. The ball was tipped up by the receiver in the corner. Quinyon Mitchell came down with it. Actually, his first interception of the season. Go Quinyon.
Yeah.
Hell of a season for Quinyon. But wasn't Jaden Daniels' fault.
No.
He was just trying to make a play. He was kind of conservative in this game, but he was smart and took what was there.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to keep him in this game. Basically, to me, he felt like the only good player on the Commanders side in this
That's
game.
what it felt like.
Him
They
and
couldn't
Zach
run it.
Ertz.
Yeah, they couldn't run the ball this game.
Basically, they haven't been able to run the ball since like mid-season.
Yeah, true.
If it's either Jaden Daniels scrambling out and then being forced out of bounds by some quarterback spy.
Yeah.
Or it's Brian Robinson, maybe you get a 5-yard run.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yep.
But once again, turnovers killed the losing team.
Yes.
This game turned especially terrible for the Commanders whenever they lost 3 fumbles. 3 fumbles!
Yikes.
And 1 pick. Then their defense was, as Carson would say, Swiss cheese.
Very.
Because the Commanders turned all 4 of those the Eagles, sorry. The Eagles turned all 4 of those Commanders turnovers into 28 points.
Yeah.
28 points!
That's not going to win you ball games.
Every single time the Commanders turned the ball over, the Eagles turned it into a touchdown.
Can't win like
you
that.
You can't win like that.
No. I mean, that's prime execution by the Eagles.
Yeah, impressive.
Impressive
on their end, but sad for the Commanders.
Yeah.
A few bright spots coming out of this sad end to this surprising playoff run for the Washington Commanders. Nobody thought they'd do this.
No, NFC Championship.
NFC Championship. In the rookie year of Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be year 1 of what looked to be a big rebuild after the sale of the team to Josh Harris and Magic Johnson and all those rich guys.
Yep.
But, damn. But still, this team has so much room to grow. They can improve at running back, wide receiver, offensive line. Basically, the whole defense.
Yeah.
Like outside of Mikey Sanders still. Keep him there.
Yep, definitely.
But basically, you could cut. Not really cut, but like...
Upgrade.
Upgrade.
You could upgrade.
Yeah. But they still made it to NFC Championship.
Hey, they were trying to pull out all the stops, too.
They were.
I mean, that fake punt by Tress Way to my boy Ben Sinnott.
Yes.
Whew, that was sweet.
I think that was...
That's perfect.
Yeah. And Dan Quinn on the first drive, 18 plays all the way down to get a field goal to start out the game. They went for it twice on 4th down, got them both.
Yeah.
And then it was 4th and 2 on the 15-yard line or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Somewhere like right inside the 20. And he decided, like, nah, we're going to kick the field goal. And I think he was kind of kicking himself because he didn't realize basically the next time he got the ball back it was 14-3.
Yeah.
And he's like, shit.
Yep.
So then they got a 4th down in their own territory.
On their own 30.
Yeah, on their own 30. He's like, kind of regret not going for that back there. 4th and 2 in our territory. It's like, fuck it.
Yep, let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
Tress Way.
It was a dive.
It was a dive to
it
Ben
was
Sinnott.
Beautiful. He even kind of like pranced backwards. Like
he did.
It was beautiful.
Perfect.
Spiral and everything.
It was nice.
Yeah, Dan Quinn all year has been in his bag. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury. These guys have been working with bronze and they made it into gold.
Very well said.
And
well said. Pretty good.
But I mean, once again, it all starts with quarterback, and they got a grand slam at the quarterback position that has this team looking mighty fine. For many years to come.
Yeah.
And once again, shout out Zach Ertz. Big revenge game. 16 targets, 11 catches, 104 receiving yards.
This guy might get another contract.
Seriously. This guy the Eagles treated him like he was dead 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And here he is.
He had a stint in Arizona.
Yeah.
turned into
Seriously.
Slim Shady with his hair. If you remember that, he dyed it blonde.
Yep.
He's alive.
He is.
He's back.
He's standing in the way of Ben Sinnott getting playing time.
He is. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But
I mean, they trust Ben Sinnott enough to throw him a fake pass.
yeah,
A fake play. Yeah.
Progress.
He ain't going nowhere.
No, he's not.
No.
Eagles though. Here's what I'm gonna say. We all better hope that Jalen Hurts saved some of his good throws and poise for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Boy, do we hope so.
I'm gonna say it though. Jalen Hurts looked good in this game. I already read you his stats. He was comfortable, made good reads. He was accurate throwing the ball.
Showing a little bit of emotion.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Smile.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. It's weird.
Also, after that last game, he was definitely on some kind of painkillers.
The interview?
In the snow. He's like, man, I love the snow. He's like, back whenever I was playing video games as a kid, I would always turn the snow on in the football game. He's like, man, I love the snow. Love my teammates. Love football.
Yeah, you're acting like you love some snow, Jay. Yeah, we know.
Like, this guy's known for being like he always stern face, never
No.
smiles.
Yeah.
He's all business. And then
Yeah.
he's like, man, I love the snow.
I love the snow.
I bet you
He was
did.
on something.
Yeah, he was
Pretty good.
probably hurting. His knee was hurting there. And
Oh, yeah.
throw this guy some painkillers. And they did. But in this game, he trusted in his beastly pass catchers finally.
Yeah.
Also, the defense forced fumbles like they usually do. They, at a league-high rate this season, they've been the most fumble forcers. Right? Fumble enforcer? Fumble forcers.
Fumble forcers.
Yeah, fumble forcers, yeah.
That plays.
And again, Saquon ripped off long runs. Everything was clicking at all times.
Yeah.
And I mean, like it has all throughout the playoffs. Like I'll say it again, the Eagles actually look like they have their shit together.
They do.
I don't know how. They
I don't know how either.
just all it took was one wipe, I guess.
Yeah.
They pinched it off clean.
Pinch off clean.
But man, if I'm them, I am so scared of the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And here's why.
They should be.
Saquon was in and out of this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Tending to his calf. Maybe it was just cramping. But let me tell you what happened this season for Saquon. He's touched the ball 451 times. 451 touches between carries and catches.
Oh,
I mean, I know that
my.
he's a beast. He is one of the strongest guys. Pound for pound, he might be the strongest guy in the NFL.
Very good chance.
He's got 20 total touchdowns this season. So let's just say he wasn't tackled on those plays. Some of them he is tackled on touchdowns.
Yep.
But let's subtract those 20. So he's still been tackled about 431 times. Can you imagine?
That's a lot of hits.
I might be dead.
Oh, I would be. Yeah. I'd be on IR.
Whenever
Yeah.
you talk about the strength that these guys are tackling him with, you talk about G-forces and how many times he's getting his body rocked.
Yeah, normally he's getting hit 3 to 4 times
Yeah.
before he's getting tackled.
Yeah.
So,
So this guy's been hit probably about 500 times this season.
yeah, probably.
That's not even counting. I know they don't do a whole lot in practice, but like this guy's still.
He's not getting tackled in practice.
Yeah, I mean,
They aren't letting anyone touch him.
either way, that is a ginormous workload for any player, let alone a
Yeah.
player with a long injury history like Saquon. Like,
Yeah.
we remember what he was like in New York. I know it wasn't all his fault, but he was tearing ACLs left and right.
Yeah.
So,
He
I
had
mean,
bad luck with that.
that kind of scared me to see
Yeah.
him on the sideline missing some plays. Not that they really needed him too much in this game.
Yeah.
He was super efficient, and the Commanders let them do whatever they want. Even
Yep.
with Will Shipley out there.
Yep.
But Saquon has been phenomenal this season, and the offensive line has helped him a lot. But
Yep.
even in open space, this guy will shake you or break you.
And then he's
out
still
of-
got the Jets.
Yeah, finish the job.
Yeah.
He finishes, baby. He knows how
He
to
finishes.
breakaways.
Boy, does he
Yeah,
finish.
he
Yeah.
finishes. He darts.
Oh, he does.
But a truly awesome year. So shout out to Saquon. All of America just wants to see him have this explosiveness for one last game this season. So I tell you, Saquon, please be healthy
Come on, Saquon.
for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Then you can not touch a football. You can lay on your couch for
Yep.
the rest of for like another 6 months.
Yep. I'll be wearing my Kelly Greens for you, Saquon.
Yes.
Come
I was gonna
on.
say, you got to wear the Kelly
Yeah.
Green Saquon
Yep.
jersey.
Come on.
Another thing, Jalen Hurts was not really pressured in this game.
No.
And the blitzes weren't good enough to affect him too much like the Rams did. Like this defensive line is not anywhere close to what the Rams had. And they gave him fits. But we all know that Steve Spagnuolo,
Spagnuolo.
we'll figure it out by the end of this
Yeah.
podcast.
Spagnuolo.
Defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, by the way, he loves to blitz,
Yeah, I'd say so.
especially in the biggest moments.
Yeah.
So I keep hammering on this, but I think Jalen Hurts is indecisive in the pocket. He holds onto the ball too long. He's got the longest average time to throw in the NFL at 3.21 seconds.
That's a long time.
He's been top 10 in the NFL this season in sacks taken. And he, for some reason, doesn't always trust his receivers to chuck up jump balls. He did in this game, but, like, for some reason, he's
going to need to keep that going.
Yeah, he's got A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, just throw the ball up, Jalen, and stop holding on to it because you're going to get sacked. And that's what I'm very afraid of. And then finally, also, even though I love this Eagles defense, how are they going to stop this Chiefs team? Because I'd want them to focus on stopping the pass, right? Because they're running the ball. They're not very efficient.
Yeah.
But if you drop back 7 guys in coverage, 7 guys, maybe 8 guys, which you should not do. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league at picking up those open yards whenever he scrambles.
Yeah.
He scrambles in such an aggravating way, but it works.
It works.
He outsmarts you.
Yeah.
He is smarter than you, and he can beat you in many ways.
Yep.
But, I mean, if I trust anybody to stop Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs this season, it's Vic Fangio and this amazing defense. But, man, I'm so scared.
Me too.
Because
They definitely have the best shot. I mean, this defense has been lights out.
If they keep playing this way.
Yeah. I trust the linebackers.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
So that'll cover Kelsey.
Uh-huh.
That'll cover those in-between guys. Juju Smith-Schuster had a giant game out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, you're throwing out – it's Marshawn Lattimore, who seems like he's washed, and Mikey Sanders still is. Like, they had him playing outside. At heart, he is a slot corner.
He is.
That's where he knows best.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be tough for anyone to cover them guys.
It is.
Though.
I mean, but if Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Darius Slay, those guys have been amazing this year. And the wide receivers on this team aren't that good. So please cover them. I mean, I know Pat Mahomes makes it work. But
they made it work last game. I mean, they had everyone involved.
They did.
D-Hop, Juju Smith-Schuster,
Xavier Worthy, of
Xavier
course.
Worthy. Yeah. There's one other dude that I'm forgetting. But, yeah, everyone. He's throwing to everybody.
Yeah. Man,
Justin Watson.
Justin Watson.
Travis Kelce, Noah Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
And we'll get into our picks here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, man, I just wanted to say that I'm scared for the Eagles.
We all are. We all
Save
are.
us, Saquon. I'm not going to say Jalen.
Come on,
Save us,
Saquon.
Save us. Save
Yes.
America because
We
we're
need
all
you.
rooting for you.
Yeah, Saquon and Zach Bond.
Yes.
Save us.
I love the memes. It's like, who America's rooting for in the Super Bowl? And it's got like a little, in like Missouri/Kansas, it's got a little dot with the Chiefs logo. And then it's got, in Eastern PA, it's got a little dot for the Philadelphia. And the rest of the rest of America is grayed out. And down at the key, it says, like, obviously Chiefs in the red, Eagles fans in the green, and then like all of the rest of America is just hoping for a meteor strike.
I saw that
Like,
too.
can
Yeah.
nobody win?
Yeah,
Please?
can we have no winner here, please?
Oh, man. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's get into the glaze and some folks with
Yeah.
Chris Collinsworth glaze from this past week.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with a big one just because he's been good all year. We'll hit some big ones this week. It's got to be. Ooh, I like a lot of guys this week, actually. That's going to be tougher than I thought.
I'll go with one. I'm going to start off with a
go for
defender. Chris Jones is maybe one of the best defensive players in the playoffs, like in playoff history. He just always seems to kind of show up. In this game, he was in the first half alone. I saw this stat. He was single teamed 11 times total. On those plays, he got 7 pressures on Josh Allen. He was an absolute menace. He didn't really get home with a sack in this game, but he was causing problems for Josh Allen that you could see all game, keeping the Bills out of rhythm. And, Chris Jones seems to always do that.
He's a dog.
Always do that.
He is an
Absolute dog. I got to go
He's got a
with...
big cock.
Huge. Huge. I got to go with my guy, Zach Bond, from that Philly Eagles defense.
This past game specifically against the Commanders, he had 12 total tackles, 8 solo, 1
Tackle for loss. Like, he was just... He's been flying around all year. We've talked about him a bunch, but he's a stud. He's a dog.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely earned first team All-Pro. Him and Fred Warner.
Kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He made a name for himself this year.
He did.
Yeah, I mean,
He's now the-
most of us didn't know him going in.
No.
Not at all.
Came in from the Saints, I want to say. And
Sounds right.
First-year starter for the Eagles team, and he has been amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I want to say one more guy. You want to get another guy ready here?
Yeah.
Well, I got a special teams player that I
Oh,
got to
yeah.
shout out. Nico Remigio.
He's very good at the football.
I didn't even know this guy existed until whenever they picked him up, which I couldn't even tell you when. It was sometime this season because he wasn't on the team all year. But first-year player out of Fresno State. Did a little recon on this guy.
How about that?
Yeah, and it seems like every week here in the playoffs, this guy's broken off a huge kickoff return, and it's so much fun listening to the commentators say, "Nico Remigio." But he's been crazy productive in the kick return game, setting up the Chiefs for great field position. Even though the Chiefs' offense hasn't always looked great, they're almost always starting in great position.
Yeah. I'll do one guy that kind of flew under the radar for a lot of the season. I mean, we know his name. We know the guy. But I'll do a defender on that Chiefs team. Mike Dana.
Yeah.
He plays like a dog. He had a sack this past game. He's an animal, man. And he's kind of flown under the radar just because they have Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, and
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie, even Drew Tranquil, and he's kind of a bigger name. Nick Bolton. So yeah, Mike Dana, he deserves some love because he's a dog.
He's the guy who I feel like every time that Steve Spagnuolo is in his bag, it's always Mike Dana running crazy at the quarterbacks.
Bring in Mike Dana.
Yeah, seriously. This guy goes apeshit in the playoffs, right along there with Chris Jones. Everybody's so worried about Chris.
Yeah.
He's got a big cock. They saw what he did in the 40-yard dash.
Don't need that to happen again.
Don't need that to happen
Yeah,
again.
we don't need any more dents in the ground.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But Mike Dana does always seem to be like the chess piece that they kind of... He gets loose.
He does get loose.
He gets loose.
He does get loose. All right. What do you say we move into some Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
Senior Bowl players.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some guys we're looking to watch and excited to watch this Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl, do we know when that's happening? Pretty soon.
It's going on this week.
Okay, I thought so.
Yes, practices are going
week?
On this week. And the...
Yeah, today's the 28th of January.
Yes. And
happened this week.
And then the game, the kind of final All-Star game, which not everybody plays in.
Right.
I'll explain here.
Yep.
But it happens this Saturday.
Yes.
February
1st.
First.
Yeah, February 1st.
Okay. Well, this is what the Senior Bowl is. If you don't know, it is an All-Star game for some of the best seniors and a few draft-eligible juniors. All these guys are draft-eligible. All of them to come together, practice, rise their draft stock, hopefully.
Yeah, because there's guys there watching, teams, scouts, things of that nature.
Yeah, this is a huge event for...
It's a showcase.
Yes, it is. For these guys that are in rounds, expected to go in rounds 2 through basically round 5, 6, sometimes 7, but they bring the best of the best here to compete against each other. The practices are really what matters because you see... wide receiver versus cornerback one-on-ones. That's not really too big for running backs because,
you kind of know with running backs.
Yeah, you kind of know with running backs, and they're not tackling each other in the practices. So it's just quarterbacks, you're looking at accuracy. You're looking for offensive linemen versus defensive linemen one-on-ones. This is where guys really can jolt themselves up to a high draft pick. Like Jaden Reed was a stud in the Senior Bowl a couple of years ago. Christian Watson, another one. Last year, Roman Wilson, to a lesser extent than Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey was the real guy who was. But these guys all make a name for themselves here, so this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And scouting season is upon us. We're beginning our scouting, so we're gonna start watching film on all these guys.
Oh yeah.
And getting draft videos out to you. So we're super excited about that.
Definitely.
And this is just kind of the kickoff. The Senior Bowl is kind of the first event that's oh shit, it's really draft season.
It's coming.
We're going. But I'll get us started here with a guy who I am super excited to watch.
Yeah.
Because we don't watch as much college football as we do NFL football, obviously.
Yep.
And we don't learn all the names of these guys because there's thousands and thousands and thousands of college football players in Division I. So we don't learn all the names until go back and be oh, that's who that super good running back was from there.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
Yep.
But just some names that we heard of and we are excited to watch more of. My first one for me, running back out of SMU, Brashard Smith. Brashard Smith was on the SMU team that made it all the way to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Had a very, very impressive season whenever nobody expected them to.
Not at all.
forget that they got blown out by Penn State in the first round, but they had an amazing season. Those Mustangs did, and Brashard Smith was a huge part of that. And just diving back into his history, I looked back a little bit, and this was his first ever season as a running back. This is like a Tyrone Tracy type of deal.
Okay, yeah.
He just transferred from, I can't remember what school it was now, I'm blanking, but he was the wide receiver. This was literally his first snaps as a running back were this year. Entrenched as a starter at SMU, proved himself, and he finished the year ranked as, he was a top 10 running back according to PFF, and made himself a name going into the draft. So I'm super excited to watch. Anytime a guy flips positions, it's kind of exciting. Doesn't always work.
Right, yeah.
But it's just kind of exciting, damn, this guy can do many things. So I'm really excited to watch Brashard Smith. They just had weigh-ins recently, a day or two ago, and he weighed in at 195 pounds, which is kind of small for running back.
Sure,
it's
yeah.
Bucky Irving size,
Yeah.
Which isn't ideal, but I'm just excited to see more because this guy has a skill set that some other running backs might not have with that multi-position flexibility.
Yeah. One guy I'm looking forward to watching, too, is another running back, Ollie Gordon, the second, out of Oklahoma State. I'm looking forward to it just because, one, his size is always good. Like you just talked about, you said he was 230-some pounds.
233.
Yeah, big boy. Bruiser. But he kind of had a down year this year as compared to last year specifically. Last year, he was basically the number one back going into this year of college football. He had 1,700 yards last year, and this year he ended just under 1,000 yards on less carries, just under 200 carries. But I think he was kind of plagued by kind of a bad team this year. Oklahoma State did not end up what everyone hoped that they would end up at all, not even close. So I'm looking forward to watching him this Senior Bowl, seeing what he's got away from the kind of dark shadow of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they consistently let everybody down this
Everybody, yeah. It was bad. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping that he can turn his career around because
that's what I'm hoping to.
Yeah, because he was amazing.
Yes.
That 2
the
years
best.
ago there, yeah.
Yeah.
The best.
The best.
Let me move on to the defensive side. I want to highlight an edge rusher out of Arkansas, my bad. Wrong red school, Arkansas.
Whoa.
His name is Landon Jackson. He is a guy who he suffers from alopecia. That doesn't affect his football play at all. It's just kind of something that... But he is a lunch pail guy, I guess you could say.
Oh, yeah.
Blue collar, nose in the dirt.
First guy in, last guy out.
Yeah, shows up, will sock you in the jaw if you say something he doesn't like. But this guy is just... I'm excited because from what I saw watching some Arkansas games, Landon Jackson is a motor guy. And I'm hoping that I see that in his film. I'm hoping that... it wasn't just take a few plays off. I'm hoping that this is an every play thing. Like I said, I haven't watched him yet, but I am excited to see more because this guy, broadcasts were always talking about him, about how just hardworking and, as I said, hard-nosed he was, and he looked like somebody that Dan Campbell would love. So I'm excited to see more. Landon Jackson.
For sure. I'm going to go to the defensive side, too. An interior defensive lineman by the name of Omar Norman Lott out of Tennessee. He's just an absolute hoss of a man. His neck's about this wide compared. Yeah, you know that guy. If he got a big neck, he's ready to lay the thunder. But yeah, he was a stud all year for Tennessee. And yeah, he's just big, built like a hoss, hard worker, and just played hard. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at this Senior Bowl, and I'm looking forward to scouting him a little bit because you'd hear his name come up every once in a while, and you hear some things like that, and I'm just looking forward to it more. I think he's a good player, plays hard. He ended up with 4 sacks this year. He had 5.5 last year even at Tennessee also, so I'm looking forward to him. I think he might be flying under the radar a bit.
And just hell of a neck.
Oh,
if anything
what
else,
a neck.
If he turns out to be a bust, at least got a good neck.
Yeah,
Good
about
neck
as wide as his
on that
shoulders.
guy. Yes,
Yeah.
It's been an amazing season for Omar Norman Lott. And I want to highlight actually another interior defensive lineman here by the name of Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. He was one of the huge pieces, literally huge, 295 pounds on this defense. Finished the year with 30 pressures and 6 sacks. And a 91.7% or 91.7 grade rush defense out of, according to PFF this season. But Walter Nolan was a huge piece of the Ole Miss defense, and every college defense kind of has their stars, and like it's rare that you find a college defense that is completely stacked with talent, unless you're talking about like Michigan was that way this year. Georgia seems to always be that way.
Always, yeah.
The Buckeyes were, but like usually you see a ton of like standouts on other teams that are just kind of trying to make a name for themselves, and that was Walter Nolan this year. He was like their best edge rusher. They like moved him around, but rushing the pass and just run defense, he was their guy. So I'm super excited to watch more Walter Nolan. I love watching the big boys scrum it up down there. Yeah. Big Michael Pierce guy, Devondre Sweat. Now he's not nearly this big. Sweat's got 70 pounds on Walter Nolan, but I'm still excited to just watch more because I was really impressed with what I saw from Walter Nolan whenever Jackson Dart was not on the field.
Yeah. One last guy I'm looking forward to watching this year just because, well, this guy goes by the name of Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. This might be because we admittedly watched way too much Kansas State because we were high on them coming into the year because we're like, man, they're good.
Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson's a dog, which he still is.
Yeah.
We aren't saying that, but they just did not live up to the hype that we were giving them, the media was giving them, and everyone was giving them. But that let me see Jacob Parrish and watch him play, and he was making plays every single game, whether they were in it or not. He's just constantly making plays. So I'm looking forward to watching him more, scouting him, and diving deeper into how his coverage is and how he matches up with some of the better players they played throughout the year and some of his tendencies as a corner and things of that nature.
While a lot of the Kansas State defense was shitting the bed and letting up a lot of points, Jacob Parrish was making plays. I did my part.
Yeah, he did his part.
He did his part.
For sure. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk Super Bowl a little bit. Yes. How about it? Now, obviously, today's the 28th of January. We're a ways out.
Yeah.
So we're just going to kind of talk what we think about it, who thinks going to win, obviously.
Matchups to watch.
Yeah, matchups to watch. Things to watch in the game, our picks, obviously. And so we got Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, playing against the Eagles. Kansas City's coming in, getting hot at the right time. Kind of always do, but this year seemed to be even more enhanced in that fact. Like, all season, we talked about them barely getting wins, winning by less than a score, and just squeaking out wins somehow, magically, black magic, all that good stuff. And then they started getting hot in the playoffs, got first round bye, obviously, and they're just getting hot at the right time. Their experience is shining through, and so I don't know. We'll see. They're scary to go up against. And the Eagles, like you talked about earlier, we got them coming in. They're kind of getting hot. Jalen Hurts holds the ball a long time, as he kind of always does. A.J. Brown was quiet, and then he'll have a big game out of nowhere. Saquon's an absolute dog, and their defense is lights out. So what do you think is a big that we need to watch for?
I think it's going to be – so in this past game, we had some injuries along the offensive line of the Eagles. We know that the Eagles' offensive line is one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the league. But they were without – well, actually, in this game, they were switching out their centers, Cam Jurgens, and then Landon Dickerson was stepping in from the guard position to kind of swap with them. So they both played around 50% of the snaps because they were both kind of banged up. So they kind of had to go to some backups, which is not an ideal thing whenever you're going up against Chris Jones in the middle. As I'll say it again, big cock.
Oh, yeah, huge.
Huge cock. But that's kind of one thing that I'm scared of because we've talked about it already in this show. Steve Spagnuolo, he turns up the blitz in the biggest moments. Yep. And I felt better about it whenever the Eagles' offensive line I knew was healthy. Yeah. Now they got like 2 weeks to heal. Mm-hmm. Now you can't exactly heal all injuries in 2 weeks. You can only kind of slap a Band-Aid on it and then ice, ibuprofen, elevate that, eat your protein.
Yeah, eat your protein.
Spinach like Popeye. But that's one thing that I'm kind of scared of because the blitz versus a great Eagles offensive line that might be banged up, that might be one thing to watch because we know that Jalen Hurts likes to hang on to the ball. So
true.
What's one thing that you're excited to watch?
Well, on that note, real quick, I think that is going to – I mean, we don't say it a whole lot. Well, I think we do, but some guys do. In football, the game of football.
Story time.
Not really, but O-line, D-line. That's where it starts. Starts in the trenches. Trenches matter. And it may not look like it all year long, but, I mean, look at this game. We're talking about it. They're banged up, and I think that is going to be huge in this game. I mean, you got studs on both sides of the ball. Eagles' offensive line, like you said, dominant, but got guys banged up. Eagles' defensive line, dominant, but might be hurt, might not be playing great. Chiefs' defensive line, one of the best in the league. Chiefs offensive line, not talked about much, but because they're kind of saved by Mahomes scrambling, but also very good.
Yes.
And I mean, you got to keep these quarterbacks clean, especially Jalen Hurts because he holds on to the ball, but both can scramble. I think O-line, D-line, trenches is gonna play a big part in this game to be able to keep those quarterbacks clean to play. But one thing I'm looking for is Saquon Barkley running behind this line.
Yeah.
Can he just carry his momentum into this game? We all hope he can, and I'm just hoping that the Chiefs, back to the trenches, the Eagles' offensive line can make some holes for him to run through and at least let him get through the first level pretty much scot-free to keep him clean. If he gets through the first level scot-free, then it's game over. It's chunk play. I think that's going to play huge for this Eagles team. But also, I think that Eagles are just going to need offensive play in general to be able to keep up because Chiefs are being quiet. Like, they may have older guys, like we talked about, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, D-Hop,
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, who's that last guy? Hollywood Brown. Yeah. So they got guys, but Chiefs know how to make it work.
They do.
And they can make it work against anybody, obviously. So Eagles are going to need to step up. Their defense is going to need to step up like they have all year. But this is going to be the biggest test and the brightest lights, the absolute brightest lights. So can the Eagles do it in this rematch, Super Bowl rematch?
Boy, I hope so.
Yeah.
To go back to the Saquon thing, I frantically looked up how the Chiefs ranked against the run this year. They are currently, in terms of yards allowed rushing, they are 8th best, and in terms of touchdowns allowed rushing, they are 10th best. Passing, though, in terms of yards allowed, they are 18th best against the pass and 12th best in terms of touchdowns against in the passing
It's
game.
going to be key. Can they keep Jalen clean enough to get it to Devontae and
AJ
Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown?
Can A.J. Brown read enough to keep his mind right?
He's got 2 weeks to read. He can read a lot of books.
I hope that. I wonder if he's a one-book guy or if he finishes that book, he's going to move on to a different one. Because if he finishes that book, it might be screwed.
Might be.
What's he going to do on the sidelines? He needs to whip out like an old DS, a Nintendo DS.
Oh, there we go.
Play some Mario Kart or something?
Yeah.
That'll give me confidence.
That'd get me going.
Yeah, I was a beast at that.
Now we're thinking here.
Mario Kart.
Get the blood pumping.
Yeah. We could send him in a care package on the field, drop something from a stork.
Yeah.
With a little parachute come floating
perfect.
down.
Yeah.
They still make DSs? I don't think they do.
No.
Nintendo Switch.
We're in Switch world, yeah.
DS was better, man.
It was.
Easier to hold in your hands.
Got 2 screens.
Yeah, 2 screens. Anyways, I am excited to see what Saquon can do. I really hope he's healthy.
I do
hope
too.
his offensive line is healthy.
I am concerned about that.
Yes, that is going to play a big key in this because nice.
Oh, nice.
But I think that it's not necessarily the defensive line that is great in stopping the run. Obviously, there's Chris Jones.
Sure.
But the other guys aren't necessarily known for stopping the run. The Mike Danas, Charles Omenihu, all those guys, more pass rushers. But it's the second level. Drew Tranquil and Nick Bolton, those guys, the linebackers, they stop the run before it gets too crazy. Safeties, corners. Yeah. The thing is, can Saquon be healthy enough, be explosive enough to get past those very, very good linebackers to make something happen, make big plays happen like he always does?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the weather. And then one more thing that I'm excited to watch, little first-round rookie on first-round rookie matchup, Quinyon Mitchell versus Xavier Worthy, who has since turned into the Chiefs wide receiver 1 as of late.
Yeah.
So speed on speed, young Bucks against young Bucks. Now, it all comes back to the quarterback, obviously. It's all how smart can the quarterback and offensive play caller, Andy Reid, be to scheme open Xavier Worthy and then in this very, very talented secondary, but it's basically youth in this secondary. Reed Blankenship is a pretty young player.
Yep.
We know that Cooper DeJean and Quignon are both rookies. Now, Darius Slay might be the oldest starting corner in the league. He's 34.
Yeah.
So it's crazy the amount of balance that they have there in ages. But I think it's going to be something to watch. Like, can Darius Slay, being in this situation, having been in this situation before, can he be a big help, him and Vic Fangio, to help these rookie players, these young guys, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, Quignon, Cooper DeJean, Reed, Blankenship, Nolan Smith. Yeah, this team is very young on the defensive side, very talented.
Very talented.
But inexperienced. Yeah. They haven't played against Patrick Mahomes yet.
Right.
They haven't seen all the magic and everything that he can make happen.
He's slippery. Patrick Mahomes is slippery.
He might look kind of fat.
Maybe.
Kind of overweight.
Yeah, sure. He's a dad, though.
He's dad. Baby weight.
Yeah.
But
he'll get over it.
But I just think that Patrick Mahomes is very smart, and I think that I'm scared he might be playing some mind games with these young corners and young players.
Yeah, I think so, too.
All comes down to why I took the Chiefs. Chiefs have been here before. Andy Reid knows how to win these big games. Patrick Mahomes knows how to win these big games. Steve Spagnuolo cranks it up at the right time.
Yeah.
And sends the opposing quarterback running for the hills. So I got to go Chiefs here. As unfortunate as it is, I will be rooting for the Eagles.
Oh,
Let me make that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
Like the rest of America, I'll be rooting for the Eagles.
Yep.
But I just don't see it happening. I mean, Saquon, he's going to do as much as he possibly can, and I know he will. He's going to play with heart. He's going to break off every single tackle that he possibly can.
Yep.
But is it going to be enough to go against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and everybody that they have to cook up offense and defense? I don't think it is.
Yeah, you got the Chiefs defense in their bag as of late. We got a healthy defensive line for the Chiefs. We got Pat Mahomes seemingly throwing it to everybody confidently. But, yeah, on the other side, we got A.J. Brown. Hopefully turn it on this game.
Yep.
Hopefully give Jalen enough time. We got Devontae Smith. Just throw it up to that guy. We seemingly forgot about him, but he's still an incredible contested catch maker, contested big play maker. And, yeah, my boy Saquon, man. I mean, he's liable to rip off multiple big ones every single game, as he has all year. And, yeah, that young secondary. But we got a healthy Patrick Mahomes on the other side, feeling confident rolling into this game. That's why I took the Chiefs, too. I mean, Chiefs favor 1.5 as of right now, as of this recording. But I don't see it moving a whole lot unless big money comes in one side or the other. But I just had to take the Chiefs. I've kind of doubted them a few times this year, but then whenever they win, it's like, oh, yeah, Chiefs is the Chiefs. They're experienced. They've been here. They know how to win. They got Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, and they're in their bag, and I'm not going to doubt them now.
Yeah. Like I was one of the haters earlier in the season. They didn't look good.
They don't look – no.
Now they look good.
They look like they're clicking. They are clicking now. So, yeah, had to take the Chiefs. I will certainly be rooting for the Eagles, too.
Yes.
100%.
Saquon. He'll be wearing his Kelly Green Saquon jersey.
100%, yeah. So, but the Chiefs' experience, man, experience pays off, especially in big, big, big games like this. But it'll come down to trenches like we thought of and all the playmakers, but it's going to come down to mistakes, too.
It's like every other playoff
game. Yeah. So, on that front, that leans more towards the Chiefs right now. They're experienced. They've been here as opposed to the Eagles' young guys. But we'll see. Should be a good game.
Should be a very good game.
Yeah, I mean, people may not have wanted it. We may have wanted Bills, obviously, but
we're still going to watch it.
We're still going to watch it. And it honestly should still be a good game.
Yeah, it should.
And if the Eagles win, awesome. They beat the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts gets a ring. Saquon gets a ring, as he's deserved his whole career. And all those guys, like all the young guys on the defensive side, awesome. If the Chiefs win, oh, yeah, it sucks. But we're witnessing history. We're witnessing a true dynasty, three-peat, never been done before. Like, sure, hate them all you want because they're too good, which is why everyone hates them. And, well, maybe some are insufferable to watch.
They're annoying.
Yeah, but we're watching history. You got to respect it, how good they are. Like, to move up and make the move to get Patrick Mahomes years ago, and it'll turn into this.
Yeah.
Like, he's, 28 maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and has
Three kids.
three kids, 3 Super Bowls or something, and yeah, it's crazy what they're doing. So you got to respect it.
29. He's an oldie.
Oh man,
Damn.
Well, forget what I said.
Throw it all away.
Yeah, throw it all away. Yeah. Too old. But yeah, I just got to respect their. Got to ball respect ball. You know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. They're annoying, sure, and they're really good, sure, but I'm sure they put in a lot of work in the stuff that we don't see. But,
they know what it takes to win.
Yep.
I am going to continue to hate on Patrick Mahomes for kind of pushing the rules. He's a he's a very smart quarterback.
Yep.
He knows what he can do. He probably has read the rule book a few times.
Probably.
Just for fun.
Yeah, just
because he's very good at football and knows football inside and out.
Yep.
So he knows that referees are going to call in his favor because they watch out for quarterbacks. So is it annoying what he does? Yes, it's very, very annoying, and I disagree with it very much. But as of right now, he's playing within the rule book, and it's fair. It's not. Well, I guess it's fair. It hurts to say it, but it's fair. It sucks to watch.
It's pretty fair.
He's doing what he has to win the game.
Yep, pretty much. And I mean, it gets glossed over, but I don't hate Andy Reid.
No,
he seems like a good guy.
He gets caught up in the. I don't like how they've drug him into all the commercials and stuff.
I know.
The fumble Rooski's so annoying.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
I like the one where I do like the one State Farm commercial that I like with all those guys in it is are you gonna? He's like, what are you gonna do with those little nuggies? It's like his fingers, because Patrick Mahomes is showing him some kind of play or something. He's like, now show me with those little nuggies. Yeah. He's like, he finger walks over to the nuggets. Yeah. And Patrick Mahomes pulls him away.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Super Bowl a couple weeks coming up. Hopefully you guys can all enjoy that one. Mm-hmm. Have some fun watching the game. 6:30 kick. I'm pretty sure Eastern time, of course.
Yeah. We'll be back after the Super Bowl. We're not going to put out another episode between now and the Super Bowl. There's just not a whole lot going on. Whenever we come back from the Super Bowl, we're going to have Carson with us. We're going to start recording at a different time. It's off season. We don't have to cover all these games that are happening every Saturday, Sunday. So we're going to record at a different time. We're going to start talking coaching carousel. A lot has gone on in that front.
A lot.
Hopefully the Saints have hired somebody by that point. Otherwise, they're just setting themselves behind. But who knows, man?
They probably can't afford it.
No, they probably can't afford it. They're going to have to fire Mickey Loomis. So we got a lot of funny firings that happened, too. I'm so excited to talk about what happened with the Jags and Liam Cohen. That whole timeline was amazing.
What a mess. Yeah. That's Jags football.
That's Jags football. But, yeah, we're going to talk about all that, get into the offseason scouting. It all starts after the Super Bowl. But we can't jump ahead that far because this is the biggest game.
This is the big game.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be watching whether you like the Chiefs or not.
Yep.
And we're all probably going to be really upset whenever the Chiefs win the game.
Just drink a few more wobbly pops.
Yeah,
it'll heal everything.
Yeah.
So,
wobbly pops.
Yeah. All right, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for watching all year. We appreciate it. Yeah, but stay tuned for our scouting draft stuff, maybe even some playoff hockey whenever that rolls around.
I feel like draft is really what we take the most pride in.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna do a better job with editing and getting them out to you guys this year. So we're gonna make better product. Follow along. Don't go away. Don't miss out on all of our draft stuff. You don't want to miss it. We hit on some big ones this offseason.
We'll go over that. Yeah, we'll go over that. Yeah, that'll be a fun episode. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have fun with your friends, family. Let's root for the Eagles. Root for whoever you want. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. So we will catch you after the Super Bowl.
Later, dudes.
Later, dudes.